about the metric system, now we have some really big things we go. Well, what is probably the largest that most of us are going to deal with in terms of the metric unit?
Conversion.
No. What's the largest unit that we would deal with? Kilo. Very good. And that's with a capital K, right? We have kilo. What's the next largest? No. Hecto. And hecto's with a capital H. Hecto. Next largest after hecto. That's deca. And deca has an interesting, so we basically say capital K, capital H, and when for deca, I've seen it several ways. It could either be a capital D or it could be just simply the DA with a period after it. So I'll just make it deca. And then we have our basic unit. Alright, so you have your basic unit. Then what's the unit, or what's the next measure after the unit? Deci. And that's just the lowercase d. After deci is centi. That's the lowercase c. And what comes after centi? Milli. That's the lowercase m. So these are prefixes. And that's really important that we understand that these are prefixes. What does that mean to be a prefix? It goes in the front. Okay? So these are prefixes that go in the front. The word pre means before. Fix means put it there. So we're going to prefix it. Alright, so that's what our basic units are. Now when we look at their measures, by unit, we'll just say it's 1. So how many units are deca? 10. Hecta is 100. And kilo is 1,000. So a kilometer or a kilometer is how many meters? 1,000 meters. Now we go the opposite direction. Deci meaning how many? 0.1. Centi is what? 0.01. And what about milli? 0.001. Now how many guys hate doing metric conversions? It amazes me. How many of you guys really? Honestly, I've gotten used to the English system. I still can't do neither conversions of a kitchen. I still cannot convert pints and quarts and gallons and get all that right. I still get messed with that. Kilometer or to do miles and feet and yards, that's not a big deal. I can handle that. But the volume one's always throwing me off. But it's amazing me how many of us really don't like doing this, but it's super easy because all you're doing is moving the decimal. For example, if I have 128 grams and I want to go to how many milligrams that is, all you have to do is move the decimal. When you move the decimal, it all depends on how you're moving. What are you given and what are you going to? In this one, we're given grams and we're moving to milligrams. Which one is larger, gram or milligram? Gram is larger. So anytime we go from the larger unit, we're going to the smaller units, you move the decimal to the right. If I have a small unit and I'm going to a big unit, I move the decimal to the left. It's that simple. Where's my decimal on the 128 grams? After the 8. Right here's my decimal. I'm going from grams to milligrams, so that's going from the unit to the milli. Well, how far are you moving? 1, 2, 3. So think about it. So if I had 128, and I move this decimal over 1, 2, 3. What do I put in those spaces? That's how we do it. Let's say that I had 256.79 milliliters. I want to know how many liters that is. How would I do that? So we're starting at milli. We have to go to the unit. So what direction do I move my decimal? Going to the left. How far? 1, 2, 3. So I take my decimal and move it 1, 2, 3, and I have 0.2567 liters. Now, why is this kind of conversion important? All right, we'll make it simpler for you. Think about the lab we did a couple days ago. All right, it wasn't exactly an amazing lab, but it was where we did the foam lab, right, the hydrogen peroxide. And although I screwed up on the yeast, sorry, I actually had to figure out how many milliliters of hydrogen peroxide I was going to need. The problem was when I was actually reading through the lab, it gave the value to me in liters. This is how many liters you're going to need for this many students. Okay, that's all fine and dandy, but the problem is when you go to actually pick up the bottle of hydrogen peroxide, what are the units given? Milliliters. So then you have to be able to convert it fairly easily, fairly quickly, and make sure you have enough of the substance. And so this is really not a difficult task. This is just moving the decimal around. So okay, one more time, we're just going to try this home. We're going from big to small. What direction do we move the decimal? Move it to the right. And if we're going from small to big, we move it to the... All right, and that's all we're going to do today. We're going to do this, we're practicing, we're practicing again, we're practicing again. We absolutely have this down today. So for some of you guys, you'll be done with this in no time. Others will just keep trying.